A somber day for the SAISD community. SAISD Detective Cliff Martinez being laid to rest today. How his life is being honored.
A man found dead at a Northwest Side apartment complex. He had been shot. We have the latest on that investigation.
And a cold front heads our way later this week. Maybe some showers and storms. We're going to talk about that forecast coming up.
Live from KSAT12, the news at noon starts right now.
Our community saying goodbye to fallen San Antonio Independent School District Detective Cliff Martinez.
His service is underway right now at the Community Bible Church, and that is where Stephanie Cerna joins us now live.
Well, Ursula, the services are being held inside the church, but as for the honors for Detective Martinez, they will be held out here in the parking lot very shortly. Now, a large procession of family, friends, and fellow officers made its way from Porter Loring to the Community Bible Church earlier this morning. Detective Martinez was killed last month, working off duty as a security guard at an IHOP. Now, police say he was assaulted by two men before they got into a vehicle and ran over him on purpose. Now, today's services, Cliff Martinez's father, Albert Martinez, addressed the families of first responders, telling them to hug their loved ones because you never know when something like this is going to happen.
But you first responders, you've got to hug your family. Tell them you love them. Tell each other that you love each other. You never know when something like this is going to happen.
And another tribute to SAISD police officer Cliff Martinez is the scholarship established in his name. We are told it will support SAISD students who are pursuing careers as police officers. We are live on the city's north side. Stephanie Cerna, KSAT12 News.
The seventh day of the year has been met with what technically is San Antonio's first homicide of 2020. A man found shot to death overnight at a Northwest Side apartment complex.
It happened in the 8800 block of Cinnamon Creek. And as Katrina Weber reports, while he is the first person to be killed this year, he is not the first victim to die.
Less than 1 week into the new year, shades of years gone by for police unfolded at the Hearthstone Apartments. Officers roped off the back parking lot where a man had been found bleeding from gunshot wounds. A neighbor called them to the 8800 block of Cinnamon Creek just before 2 this morning.
He had heard the gunfire, ran out and met us with the victim when we arrived on location.
Police say the man who had been shot multiple times died right there at the scene. They believe he also lived there in that same apartment complex. Officers told us he appeared to be in his 30s, but his murder is a bit of a mystery.
I spoke to several people who lived here. Most were too afraid to go on camera. Some had no idea that anything had happened back here. One woman did tell me, though, that she heard several gunshots.
At this time, we don't have any leads or suspects. So any information that the public has regarding this incident would be very helpful for us.
Police hope to quickly solve the case, the first deadly shooting to happen this year.
That would be technically correct.
They say he, however, is not 2020's first homicide victim. They say that title belongs to 24-year-old Demoria Harris. He was shot at an apartment complex in the 2100 block of Bandera Road back on December 12th. Harris died this past Saturday. Anyone with information on either case is asked to call San Antonio Police. Katrina Weber, KSAT12 News.
And we are getting a look at the latest numbers when it comes to homicides in San Antonio and Bexar County in 2018 and 2019. While one agency shows a slight decline in the number of cases, the opposite appears true for the other. When it comes to the San Antonio Police Department, there were 107 cases reported back in 2018. Just last year, those cases dropped by 2 for a total of 105 in 2019. In the numbers for the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, there were 13 homicide cases the agency worked on in 2018. By the end of last year, that number jumped by 2 for a total of 15 homicide cases in 2019.
A man facing some charges after police say he crashed his vehicle on the west side. It happened on Highway 151 near Petranco Road just after 11 o'clock last night. When police got to the scene, they found the 30-year-old man trying to walk the motorcycle off the road following the crash. Police say the man was detained for possible DWI. No other injuries were reported.
Now to the escalating tensions in the Middle East. Iran's supreme leader calling for direct retaliation against the U.S. for the death of the country's top general. Iran's foreign minister, who's been denied a visa to travel to the United States, sat down for an interview with ABC. And even as U.S. troops are bracing for a counterattack, and dozens of Iranians were killed after a stampede during the funeral procession for Soleimani. ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi is in Washington with more.
This morning, a deadly stampede erupting during the funeral procession for Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in his hometown of Kerman. Iranian state television claiming that at least 40 people were crushed to death after hundreds of thousands gathered to pay their respects. The crowd demanding retribution against the U.S.
Trump made a big mistake. He killed our hero.
This morning, National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien on Fox News stated the Trump administration had information that Soleimani was conspiring to attack U.S. soldiers and diplomats.
Soleimani and those he was plotting with were looking to kill American diplomats and soldiers in significant numbers in the coming days.
O'Brien also calling it ironic that Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif, who called the U.S. attack that killed Soleimani state terrorism, wanted to attend Thursday's UN Security Council meeting in New York. Zarif was denied a visa to enter the U.S. In a State Department briefing, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo scoffed at Zarif's claim that Soleimani was conducting a peace mission in Iraq at the time of his death. But Iraq's prime minister also stated he had a diplomatic meeting scheduled with Soleimani the day he was killed regarding Iraq and regional peace.
We know that wasn't true. Zarif is a propagandist of the First Order.
Zarif telling ABC's Martha Raddatz the U.S. took an action of war against Iran, but the Islamic Republic will not target civilians.
Our action will not be disproportionate, like the United States.
And today, top Trump administration officials will brief the Gang of Eight, a group of congressional leaders briefed on classified intelligence matters on the airstrike that killed Soleimani. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, Washington.